What is up? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Where are we ourselves? We are on YouTube,
Yeah,
and then here comes Zoom. Here comes the Zoom. Here comes the Zoom. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, my presentation is here. Great, proper African summer's day. Proper hot. This aircon is like working extra time today, else,
yeah.
and it's still not coping. I am so happy to see everybody. I think that the Zoom boys and girls are a little bit late on tonight's live. Let's have a look how many people have joined us quickly, and then I'll go back to full screen presentation mode and we'll be ready. Participants, okay, they're still joining us. Cool. Let's go. Else, I'm going to jump straight into it, and as people are ready, they'll join us. Customer training. I remember a couple of years ago, we started our YouTube channel with this intent to train consumers on how to properly buy vehicles from dealerships, how to negotiate, how to get the best out of the trade-in, how to get the most when they want to sell the vehicle, how to pin dealers up against each other. That was the intent of the channel. A couple of weeks later, speak to some interesting people. I'm like, sit here, let's have a conversation. This guy's been to jail 15 years. What did you learn in jail? Really? Then we got some executives going and the YouTube channel was formed. But I'm so happy Els and the team brought me back to the focus point, which is training our customers to make sure that they always get the upper hand when it comes to buying and selling a vehicle. Let's go. 45 minutes is the target that I need to hit today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit it, but I'll give you guys my best. All right. How to get the most for your trading. I'm going to start on that topic. And please use this information that I'm giving you against me. Everybody that hears me present the speech are like, yeah, Bobby, we're going to use it against you. Please do. That's why I do it, so that you are educated and you get the most bang for your buck, the most value that you can possibly get for a trade-in car. How do you do that? We're going to start with what I think is probably the most important. When you are presenting your vehicle to a dealership, whether it's being traded in, whether it's being sold, whether it's being evaluated, or just because you want to know what your car is worth, what you should focus on is delivering a clean vehicle. So take it as clean as possible. You might think that, my car's got a few hojos here and there are one or two things that obviously I don't want the dealer to see. So if I take the vehicle to them a little bit dusty and a little bit dirty, that increases my chance of getting more for the car because they might miss it. It's actually the opposite way. If the car is clean, what dealerships do effectively is they take a car, they refurbish the vehicle, and then they sell it off for a profit, which means they grab the car that you traded in with the stone chips on the front bumper, with the scratches on the rims that your wife, girlfriend, significant other made for you, and they can exactly know what the recon cost will be. So for example, if you take it and they only need to do 2 rims because the 4 rims are clean, and if you take it dirty and they're like, it looks like all 4 rims need to be done, we have to do the front bumper, the bonnet for stone chips, the rear bumper, and 2 rims. That's the recon of the car, exactly what it's going to cost. They know, they reverse engineer their selling price. This is how much we'll pay you for your vehicle. Happy, salute. The other sort of interesting phenomenon that happened over the last couple of years, with We Buy Cars doing an exceptionally good job at aggressively hunting and buying vehicles from private individuals very effectively. So a couple of these platforms have popped up. Wheelie's one of them, a major player. What I would suggest is, when you're trading in your vehicle, just to make sure, we all compete against each other for your business. Just to make sure, get offers from a couple of places. The trick is, when you get to the dealership and they ask you, all right, so What's the offer? Els, why is there only one participant on Zoom? What's going on with Zoom? Is everything okay there? Do you think I've done something wrong?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How's TikTok looking? So, for example, you've gotten an evaluation done at the orange company and the green company. Cool. You know more or less what your car is worth. When you get to the dealership, upfront, I love it when this happens to us. Now, when I do dealer training on the Midmac Masterclass program that we run, sorry, I almost knocked the TV over. When I did this, and I asked the dealerships, how many of your customers actually walk into the dealership and say, listen, I've been to We Buy Cars, I've been to Wheelie, I've received an offer, give me your best price. How many of you get upset when that happens? All of their hands go up. I said, cool. It should actually excite you. And here's why. When you go to the dealership and you present them with your vehicle and you've got offers from 2 other platforms, how many peeps we got?
122.
122. Yes, customer training is not a hot topic, Els. Okay, but hopefully we change the way that you buy and sell cars, the 122 of you watching, and then, I don't know, there's something wrong with Zoom. I'm not sure exactly what, but we'll figure it out. When you tell the dealership that you've got offers from 2 other platforms, what I suggest you do is keep the offers to yourself. When the dealer asks you, how much did they offer you? Just say, please evaluate the vehicle, give me your best possible price, because you want to keep your powder dry. So what your powder dry means is you want to have the leverage over the dealer until that last sit-down negotiation. So here's how you retain your powder to be dry till the end. When the dealership makes you an offer, if it's higher than the offers that you receive, sweet. If it's lower than the offer that you receive, sweet, because now you can present it. This is how much we were offered. You are way off the mark. You need to up your offer, or we need to adjust. If they make you an offer and they're higher, let's say, for example, you got a 200 and a 210, the dealership now knows you've been to 2 places, so they need to present you with the best possible offer. They will give you their best up front. Maybe it doesn't go to 215, maybe it goes to 230. You scored 15,000 Rand or 20,000 Rand, whatever that gap was. If the dealer is prepared to pay that money, take it. Why they sometimes will be prepared to pay you more on a trade-in is, I'll use an example with us. There are certain cars that we trade in that I freaking love. So I overpay for certain cars, Golf Rs, GTIs, S3s, BMWs, the cars that I personally like, I'll pay you more. Sometimes the vehicle that you are buying, either an old age unit, so dealerships work with floor plans, they've got some sort of a credit lending facility that's happened, some sort of an arrangement with a bank where they take a loan and then they use it as a operating capital. Sometimes an old age unit, 45 days and above, it's starting to cost the dealership money. They want to get rid of the car, so they'll pay you a bit stronger. Or sometimes they just bought a heck of a bargain. They bought a bargain, they want to pay you more. The reason is we have more profit. When we have more profit, we can pay you more. Boom, you score. Happy Els with this slide.
Sure.
6 minutes, 33 seconds. Cool. Next slide. What is important when going on a test drive? Man, this is such a lacquer one. If you forcefully put a consumer in a vehicle, now if you forcefully, you've got these pit bull salespeople, they will literally jump on you and harass you and attack you and make sure that they sell you that vehicle right now and they close the deal and they're gone. If you do that and you don't properly assess the customer's needs, or you don't allow yourself to properly test the vehicle and make sure this is exactly what you and your family need, then you've got buyer's regret or buyer's remorse. There's nothing worse, because it's happened to me so many times. Salesperson is quite aggressive. They press that customer, they push him into a sale. Next thing you know, the customer doesn't really need a 4x4. Now he figures out on the internet that yes, a 4x4's consumption is actually not 10 k's a litre, it's 12.5 k's a litre. I drive, let's say, for example, 3,500 kilometers a month. By this much shit, I'm spending extra on fuel on something I don't need. the insurance is 600 or 700 rand more. Okay, so I'm paying more on fuel, I'm paying more on insurance, I'm paying more on installment. I don't want this car. Now there's an excuse to bring it back, or listen, I don't want this car anymore, take me out of the car, it's uncomfortable. There's going to be an over allowance, which means there's going to be some money that are carried over onto the next trade-in. It's a mess. When you test drive a vehicle, get to the dealer or the dealer gets to you. This time of the day, the WhatsApps are off the chain. The dealer gets to you. You want to ideally use that vehicle in a situation which you will be replicating to your day-to-day use, which means I drive, I'll use me as an example. I drive probably about 1 kilometer to the highway, and I jump on the highway and I drive about 18 kilometers on the highway, and I jump off the highway. It's a road that's not so lacquer, and then robot, a bit of traffic. That's my test drive. So, Mr. Salesperson, would you mind if we go on a 20-kilometer test drive? Is that okay with you? Ask his permission. Sure. Why would you want to go on such a far drive? Well, because when I'm going to be using this car every single day, you would want me to be happy, right? Right. Okay, cool. Take the car on the highway. Make sure that it feels stable. It feels solid. It's what you are paying for every single month. You're going to pay that installment. Make sure that you go on the roads that are not, they call it in the UK, they call it a B road. So not a road like a main road, but a small road which is bumpy, which has speed bumps, which has imperfections, which is doing this, does the car rattle, etc., etc. If you are going to, because salespeople have a fixed route, right? They'll take the smoothest road with the least amount of bumps, with the least amount of imperfections on the road, and they'll just drive there. Okay, jy kan maar hierso omdraai, hoor, and then turn around and then come back. So very, very important. Drive the car in the conditions that you and your family are going to use it daily. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that adds value. How's you happy? We're doing well, homie. Alrighty. What measures to take to retain the most value? So I'm going to use an example of what happened literally 2 days ago. Customer bought a Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro a year and a half ago. Very happy with the car. Always wanted to own a Ranger. How's the Ranger? How's the Ranger? Sir, it's a kick-ass car. I want a wild track, Uncle Bob's. I want a top spec, bi-turbo. I want to have twice the manhood of my neighbor. We have a lacquer lach. Okay, cool. We get to his car. You bought this car new from us, sir? Yes. We pick up paintwork? Yes. Here's what happened. Okay, so he produces the photos. My wife, obviously lady, reversed out of the driveway, hooked the bumper and the fender, scratched the light. So front left fender, the bumper, and the front left headlight was damaged. Okay, because I say to him, sir, the bumper's done, the fender's done, it's blended over to the door, and the bonnet's done. Why? Here we go. Okay, small incident, nothing too much to worry about. We can handle this. One of the panels was not done like 100%. The rest is okay. Flat and polish, make it nice and pretty. It will work. We repaint the one fender, done. Had he not taken photos of the incident that happened on that vehicle, we would have actually walked away from the car, because, you know, it's a little bit too much paintwork for a scratch, or we would have just dropped the price so low so that we can wholesale the vehicle to other dealerships, or put it on auction and wholesale it so that we don't need to ever worry about selling the car off our floor. Because we have the photo, we can go back to the next customer and say, sir, ma'am, we've done paintwork here, here, and here, and this is why. You happy? Happy, sweet, salute, goodbye. The most value for your car. Next, what I want you to do is, you must never, ever skip a service. If you skip a service, it negatively affects your value. The moment there's a missed service, especially, and I see guys and girls doing this all the time, I cannot explain how frustrating it is. The car's still under warranty or motor plan, some sort of a backup from the manufacturer. You skip a service, that vehicle's warranty is voided. You can bring it back. So you take it in, sorry, we forgot, we went over the mileage, What they actually do is they take an oil sample out of the engine, they send it away, a laboratory go and check the viscosity of the oil. Viscosity meaning how much lubrication is still left in the oil, how much of that lubrication is still there. If it's below a certain threshold, if it's below that, then there's potential damage to the engine. The manufacturer says, sweet, warranty is sharp, except on the engine. Now, if you don't have a warranty on the engine, you kind of don't really have a real warranty, do you? Make sure that you never ever skip a service. Never skip a service. Perfect time for you to retain the most value if you finance a vehicle. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, but I'm not going to speak to the exceptions. I'm going to speak to the rule. 36 to 38 months is where you will break even and have a little bit of equity. If you don't drive more than 25,000 kilometers per year, okay, and you didn't load from a previous vehicle onto this one, meaning I'm taking you out of a XYZ car, there's a 40,000 Rand difference that we need to put on top of this car. Now you're paying 40,000 Rand extra on this vehicle plus interest. So if there was no load, 32, 36, 38 months. That's the perfect time to trade in your vehicle so that you don't lose anything on it. There's no over allowance onto the next car and you might get something out. If you drive it longer, of course, it's going to be even better because you'll have more equity in the car. So if you drive it 4 or 5 years just before you pay it off, you'll have a huge lump sum as a deposit onto your next vehicle. But if you, like most South Africans, I'm bringing you data from all the banks, filtered down, 32 to 36 months is more or less where most South Africans trade in their vehicles, and that's because that's where you retain the most value. Els, how are we doing on TikTok?
122.
122. Okay, tough crowd tonight, Els. No problem. Last slide. The difference between maintenance, service plan, and warranty. Such a misunderstood concept causes so much frustration, like a lot of frustration, and it also puts the consumers in such a bad mood if it's not explained properly. So I'm going to start. The king is maintenance plan, the queen is service plan, and then the princess is the warranty. Does that make sense? King, maintenance plan, service plan is the queen, princess is the warranty. Maintenance plan, normally these are out of the blocks, out of the factory. BMW, Mercedes, Audi. These 3 brands come with a maintenance plan, so it's a full motor plan. You pay for nothing, including brakes. You pay for zero. You don't pay for window wipers. You don't pay for anything except tires and fuel. So tires and fuel, maintenance plan. That's the rule. Service plan, this is where it gets tricky. You need to make sure that you find out from your manufacturer what exactly does the service plan cover and what does it not cover. So typically a service plan will not cover brake pads. Typically a service plan will not cover wipers and some shocks and some other moving parts. They'll cover oils, filters, and serviceable items. Warranty, that's it. If your car breaks, mechanical fault, the warranty will then pay for that repair. That's a warranty. You still need to consider that if you want your warranty to kick in and pay for the repair, the services have to be done under the guidance and the strict conditions of the manufacturer, which means if it's 15,000 or a year, you have to hit the 15,000 or a year. If it's whatever it is, different manufacturers are 10, some diesel guys, I don't even know if they do under 10. I think most of the diesels are also 10 and above, depending. Maybe some of them are still 7.5 and 5. The old Isuzus used to be 5,000 kilometers. So you need to make sure that you service your vehicle exactly according to the manufacturer's recommendation, so that if a component fails, boom, they kick in, the warranty pays for the repair, done. But you have paid for your own services. 200 people. Welcome to the jungle. And that's it. It's like 17 minutes and 29 seconds. Els?
That was your fastest one yet?
My fastest one yet. So, yeah, we do these every Wednesday. What's the topic for next week? Have we decided, or are we going to ask the people in the comments?
But there is a date, so the next slide us just the date and then we'll confirm the topics.
Okay, so it's the 10th of September, 6 p.m., and we'll still confirm the topic. If you would like us to unpack something on the next customer training, we've done interest rates, we've done balloons. If you want us to go and touch on those again, you're more than welcome. Please do put something in the comments. I think this is going on our Facebook page as the live, and I think it goes on YouTube as well. So if you would like us to unpack an issue or a problem or anything that you're uncertain about, just put it in the comments. We'll take those comments, discuss as a team, and add the most value. Thank you very much for joining us. This was a quickie. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful